Oh, Kingy, it was a underwhelming trade period for a couple of clubs. Now, you've said you wanted to have it out with me over North Melbourne. You texted me yesterday. You rang me. You wanted it up the top. You said give the people what they want. And then St Kilda derailed us this morning. I'll hand the floor to you.
No need to hand the floor. I just want to know.
What have I said that you're upset about?
You've at minimum oscillated with the 5, 6, 7 year deals, and I see you're now saying, "Oh no, I think that's a good idea for Jason."
That's inaccurate.
That's true.
That's it. No,
you've been the number one campaigner.
No, that's accurate. That's accurate.
Yeah.
What is not accurate is my comments regarding the 6-year deal for Horne-Francis. I said I detest it. I detest long-term deals.
Yeah.
I can see the reasons why they can justify it, is what I've said.
Okay, so this is the only one of all of them that you've seen that you could see the reason on.
No, Matthew Lloyd said to me, who else would you be okay with this? I said, well, if Collingwood announced tomorrow that Nick Dacos at 19 years of age got a 6-year deal, I'd go, okay, well, he's going to be 25 when it expires. I can probably cop that.
Right.
It's a bit different if you're giving 7-year deals to 26-year-olds who have been injured.
Right.
There is horses for courses here. But on the surface of it, I wished it was a 4-year deal. I don't love it.
Yeah.
Is my overarching.
I just found it amazing that you found a way through it.
No, I did.
Yes, you did. You gave up because it was your beloved Port Adelaide.
I didn't give up.
You said, yeah, you know what? I reckon I can see a way through this.
One of the years he's on 120 grand. Like, I can cop that. One of the 6 years. Next year, he's on 120 grand plus match payments. That's fact. It's his 2nd-year contract. So it's a 5-year deal for a 20-year-old. Well, 1 year he's on 120. He's on a bargain basement. He's going to be in the bottom 10 paid players at Port Adelaide next year. It's a 5-year deal.
Stop watering it down. You know it's a 6-year deal.
Do you think North Melbourne should have taken some ownership for the situation they put him in rather than blame him for the reasons that he left?
There's no doubt the North Melbourne Football Club have said that it's been an unstable environment for him to operate in. But I think you've been... To say that it's about missing an ice bath is ridiculous. He's laughable.
Just hold that. This isn't just on you. I want to have a listen to John Ralph with you on Wednesday night.
I don't think that the players, he was extremely popular with the players. By the end of his tenure, he wasn't very popular with the coaches. Just a really small anecdote, that infamous ice bath there. And he was told by one of the very senior leaders, mate, it's time for you to have an ice bath. It's what we do. It's how we get up for the next week. I think Patch Adams, the coach, said, mate, I need you to have an ice bath. And he still wouldn't do it. Now, 15 minutes later, he relented.
It's ice bath gate, King. I mean, the drama over
one
this.
story.
But
that's an anecdote. You heard John say anecdote.
So there was a suspension. There was an argument with a couple of senior players.
No, there's more than that, mate. Have you spoken to anyone at the Kangaroos about that?
No.
Well, maybe make 3 phone calls and I think you'll change your mind.
But that would be their version.
But that would be the facts.
Jason Horne-Francis's version, and he might say, well, I'm about to have my 4th coach in 11 months of football. We won 2 games for the year. I don't feel like I was fully supported. I had teammates who didn't want to go back onto the ground, and we saw Taron Thomas. I see Jaden Stevenson not compete week in, week out. I don't think we've been led. And he admitted, he said, look, I could have done things differently. But
he's a first-year player that spent a lot of time whinging and sooking. I've never seen it before. I've never seen a first-year player not engage in the fight
Gary
like
Ablett
that.
was sat down by his teammates and said,
not for this.
On, mate. You got to
not
train.
for this.
Steve Johnson.
For training standards, 100%.
Bailey Smith was on film snorting drugs. Like, come on. And we're talking about an ice bath.
No, we're not talking about an ice bath. That's my point. We're not. We're talking about strapping the game's greatest record holder, Brent Harvey, to his hip for 18 months and still having issues with basic professionalism, basic standards. That's not common for a first-year player.
No, it's not common, but I think if you looked at Toby Green or Dustin Martin, I think there's been more significant issues for younger players, and the clubs that would then wrap their arms around those potential stars and support them. I don't think Jason
but you can't,
would feel like
you can lead a horse to water.
Well, he doesn't have a coach. So anyway, we can agree or disagree, and I agree that some of his actions this year weren't ideal, and by his own admission. But I think North Melbourne could have taken some ownership of the situation they put him in as well.
Yeah, and I think they have. I think you're being a bit short with what they've said. But at the end of the day, he moves on. I don't think it was going to be a marriage that was going to go forward after they made their decision. I think both parties were happy to move on. It quickly worked into a 6-year deal. That was amazing. In the space of 24 hours, it was a 6-year deal.
Hey,
well done, I say. That's quick. That was quick, wasn't it?
Have you got a thought on Tassie quickly, or do we need more time to flesh this out?
We need more time.
Okay.
I do think that the challenge now for clubs like the Essendon, West Coast, GWS, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, North Melbourne, St Kilda now, Tassie are coming in 5 years' time, right? Get yourselves in order because if you're not set with a good list and a good opportunity in 5 years' time, you will set fire to another 3 or 4 just because of what the expansion does to the draft and to the opportunities to get known products in terms of trade. So we saw what it did back in 2012 to 2016, Hawthorn, Sydney, Freo, Geelong. They basically won 15-plus games a year. So it's time now for those teams to get organised. They're on the clock.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's a good point that you make. That was the agenda, a quick version. Of course, you can have your say. I'm sure you will. 0433 98 11 16 is the number.